Gay men in South Korea are being hunted on dating apps after palpable homophobia grows amid coronavirus resurgence. I really don't know and genuinely wonder why homophobes target mostly men. Lesbians and F2M trans people are terra incognita to them for some reason. This is extra ridiculous after their first big spread much larger was from a church. Did they go hunt all the Christians? Anyone else on mobile having problems with this site? There is no button to accept their privacy policy. https:// imager.com/bdwnhtz. PNG, new infections from nightclubs, supposedly popular with LGBT and community in South Korea. On Sunday, health officials reported 35 new infections, the highest number in more than a month. 29 of these have been linked to nightclubs and bars in the Itaewon neighborhood of Seoul, many of which were LGBT and spaces. Some of those needing to be tested not cooperating with the government in fear of being identified as homosexuals. Officials have tested more than 2,450 people who attended the clubs and bars, but are still searching for 3,000 people who may be infected. Many queer people have avoided efforts at contact tracing because they fear being outed against their will. And they fear being identified because they might lose their jobs in a very conservative society, it seems. The hatred seems like a mix of homophobia, plus some anger of those involved running away from COVID testing, and maybe some Christian groups doing the usuals. P.S. Looks like anger is also partially due to finding out that 5,000 people went clubbing despite the pandemic. Also might have pissed off the Christians due to them finding out that homosexuals were still able to go clubbing while religious services and gatherings have been shut down by the government. So is it 5G or gay people or black people that give us coronavirus? This is so confusing. This missing detail is found in headlines from non-shitty sources. Virus outbreak linked to Seoul clubs popular with LGBT community stokes homophobia. Corona is the gays' fault. Yeah, that makes sense. This is getting ridiculous. In me country of Puerto Rico, something similar happened. They made some changes to the civil code condemning same-sex marriages, prohibits surrogacy, limits LGBTQ rights and attempts versus people who don't want to or can't get married. Governments are using the COVID-19 chaos for their own agendas. What the FK is happening to progress? Why can't the world be normal for once? Pensive face. What annoys me most about this is that there is this recurring theme of suppressing a type of behavior, then the people who want to engage in that type of behavior do so in a less healthy way, and then those who suppress it are shocked by how that behavior leads to unhealthy outcomes and use that to fuel further suppression. It happens all the time: prohibition of alcohol, drug criminalization, suppression of gay people, lack of sex education for young people. All these types of suppression just lead people to take bad decisions to do things that would otherwise be completely normal. Yeah, no shit, people will keep doing things even if you tell them not to, but in more shadowy places. You can make alcohol illegal, but you'll face reality that people want booze and that will just lead people to drink whatever they can get, so they go to the black market. Same for punishing gay people. If you let gay people live normally like everyone else, they'd be satisfied with their sexual lives, they'd have partners, husbands, wives, and wouldn't resort to sneak out to clubs in a time where they really shouldn't. Similarly to how in times of prohibition people would sneak out to the black market. Or how teens get pregnant if you don't educate them on the issue. It's not rocket science. Because gays are the issue when you have a flourishing underground prostitution ring. Yep. I've often wondered what a Series 7, https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v = okm5qqzolm, would look like in real life. Is this on pay-per-view? What if two hunters target each other? Late to the comments, but those sorting by new, please read this. I felt like I had to let people see this, considering what's going on in the comments. It is not homophones just deciding to use COVID-19 as an excuse to hate on the gay community. It is definitely fucked up that such a culture exists in Korea, but because of that culture, the government may not be able to handle the outbreak of this spread. And this is causing many Koreans to lash out against the gay community. I'll paste here a post by you/Chloe Song 123 which explains in detail why this is happening. This headline misses the most important aspect of the news. This person was linked to visiting gay-friendly establishments. Korea has used extensive contact tracing to take down daily new cases from a peak of 909 * to just a handful of 32 new cases from people returning to Korea from abroad. With the new outbreak linked to gay-friendly clubs and bars, people are afraid of testing positive and being associated with an active gay lifestyle. People who were potentially infected were not cooperating with the government and providing false names and numbers for follow-up. They are afraid of being outed. The government is asking that those people who think they are infected to step forward and still get tested, stating that if they are uncomfortable with answering where they think they caught it, i.e. a gay bar, then they could just mention what neighborhood and get anonymous testing. The 29-year-old man was asymptomatic when he went clubbing. Itaewon is known not just for its gay district but also for its international community. It's diverse. The fear is that your secretly gay co-worker at the office, who is still in the closet, won't get tested for COVID for fear of being outed. Homosexuality is widely misunderstood in Korea, especially with the older generation. For example, I remember a Korean drama where a side character man was gay until he met the right woman and got married to her. I'd also say that Koreans are less overtly homophobic compared to USA. Male and male closeness and companionship is considered extremely heteronormal, i.e. hugging, hold hands, falling asleep in the same bed. Seeing a guy linking arms with his guy friends isn't "OMG you're acting gay" as people would say in the USA, but a sign you're really close. "You're so gay" is also not a commonly used insult. It's just not really in people's minds/understood. That said, Koreans are extremely judgmental of things outside the norm, i.e. being excessively fat, being stupid/mental disability, being from a different race, etc. So in order to fit in, it's easy to imagine there are many homosexuals who are closeted at work. So in many ways it's even harder to be homosexual in Korea because you'll never fit in. That's why there is a huge draw to go to neighborhoods like Itaewon for the nightlife since it's so uniquely diverse. Korea is also a conservative country where sexuality is also not talked about openly, but prostitution and sexual services are readily and easily available. Prostitution is rampant and ingrained in the culture, but not openly discussed in the news or at the family dinner table. Because of this new COVID outbreak, the media is covering the sexual nightlife habits of Korean homosexuals, which is scandalizing the public. The idea that there are secretly gay individuals spreading COVID because they refuse to get tested is causing a national scandal. Also, as a side note, Koreans like to go 4 rounds when they go out, in one night. Round 1 dinner/first bar/club. Round 2 second bar/club. Round 3 etc. while getting progressively drunk and sobering up and drunk again. Dinner, bar, club, roadside stall, karaoke, etc. So it's not uncommon to go all night until dawn breaks LOL, with someone else paying for each round if you're hanging out in a group. It's common, safe, and fun. People of all ages do it, whether you're a college student, a mom hanging with her friends, or an old working man. So the fact this guy went to 5 different places in one night isn't that uncommon/unheard of.